So, how are you doing? It's been a while since we talked, and I'm going to do a soft-spoken video today. We're going to talk about how I got a sticker burr in my mouth, and the snowstorm in Texas, and I quit my job, and maybe more. So, we'll do a little hand sounds and a little rambling, and hopefully we'll have a good time together. So how are you? You. How are you? You. I haven't done many soft-spoken videos, so this is a practice. I did one before that was 2 minutes, and I had this exact same jacket on. So somehow I ended up trying again with this jacket. So we'll see what happens. So first, let's start with the Texas snowstorm. So it wasn't just Texas. I guess a lot of the United States was affected, but I think at one point to the whole state, which is really, really odd because Texas is, the southern parts of Texas are like Mexico. I remember looking at the map and it was snowing in Mexico, which it usually stays pretty warm down there. So it was a crazy, crazy weather pattern. I think it's like a once in 40 or 50 year weather pattern, this polar vortex or whatever it was that hit us. I remember back 1983 when I first got a job at the post office. We were working midnights, and it was like getting down to 8 degrees here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which normally it never gets below, 19 or 20. A lot of winters it only gets down to 30. So we're pretty warm, and snow is rare here. So back in 1983, we were working overnight, and I remember one of our heaters went out, and so the employees were sitting there. Some of the employees brought blankets, and they just put blankets over their back while they worked the mail into the cases. Because what we would do, we would work the mail all night long. So we get the letter mail ready and the magazines ready, and then someone else gets the parcels ready, and someone else puts the box mail up for the P.O. boxes. And then by morning, we had to have everything processed, and then the trucks would come and take the mail around to the other stations in the city of Irving. So anyway, it was really cold in that building. But I was young. I was fine with it. And back to the present day. So we had a little bit of difficulties due to the weather, but we didn't have it nearly as bad as some people. I know a lot of people here, at least in Texas, had their power out for 3 or 4 or 5 days. My brother, his power was out, so he came and stayed with us for a few days. And we only lost power for 2 hours, thankfully, one day. We did lose water for one day, which is interesting. I can't remember many times in my life when we lost water. After we lost the water, they said we get some of our water from Fort Worth, so we had to boil the water because the sources were not all able, I guess the cleaning plants were not all able to work because some of them froze up. So we had to boil water for about 4 days, which wasn't that bad. You can still take a shower in the regular water. So I would boil water downstairs and then bring up jugs of water and use that for my coffee and for my lemonade that I make. So that went pretty good. Seems like there was one more thing. We didn't know when we would get water back. So we got all of our ice chests and put an ice chest in each bathtub and filled it with water before the water went out. They kind of gave us a warning before it went out. And that way, if perchance we didn't have water for a few days, we could pour some of that in the toilet to flush the toilet, keep things going. So the day we didn't have water, I didn't shave, didn't shower. And so after that, I just let myself go, and here I am with a little mini beard. I'll probably cut it off before long, but I'm thinking maybe next winter I'll grow it out. I grow out a beard every few years. Give me a little bit of I guess it'll be a little bit of a Santa Claus look, because I've got a fair amount of gray in there now. So that was a storm. I was talking to one of our subscribers, and she's in Tennessee, and she said she had 8 to 10 inches of snow, and they were still having to boil water yesterday, I believe it was. So hope things are going good for you, Shiloh, and that's improved. So let me tell you about how I got a sticker burr in my mouth. You probably think I might have fallen in the grass, right? Well, I didn't. I had eaten my meal. I was sitting at my desk where I have my computer. So I eat at my desk. Usually when I'm working, I'll eat there and stuff. So I thought I had like a little fragment of food left, and I picked it up, put it in my mouth, and I put down on it. And I was like, can't bite that. What's the deal? So I pulled it out and looked at it, and it was a sticker burr. And fortunately, it was kind of flattened out. The stickers weren't really showing anymore. If you get one of those sticker burrs when they're dry and brown, that would have been very painful. And we do have a lot in our yard because the yard was not taken care of for a while, and we haven't got it back into shape. So that's how I bit down on a sticker burr. Whoa. So let's see. I was going to also tell you about, I quit my job. I know everybody would love to quit their job, probably, except for people that really love their jobs. But I quit my job, and here's the story. I actually retired from the post office about 12 years ago. So I had a long career there, and I left because I wanted to do something different, and they offered an early retirement. So I took a small retirement and left there, and I decided to go into information technology because it pays well, and it seemed like I could use my brain a little bit more. I wanted to do something besides just manual labor. So I took some trainings and went into IT and had several IT jobs. So didn't enjoy that as much as I thought I would. I enjoyed the company, the atmosphere of the companies I've worked for was really good. But I didn't feel like I really had the love for IT that some people that just really get it. They just dig into it and love it. And for me, I could do it if I really worked at it, but it wasn't like a first love. So I did that for about 12 years. And then I'm working also as a caregiver at home. My wife and I are caregivers for Dad. So we were kind of feeling like we were doing a whole lot. So having some anxiety a month or two ago, and we've been planning kind of for us to transition to part-time work or something different. So about, I guess 3 weeks ago, I talked to my boss and said, hey, I think it's time for me to transition. I'm going to resign. And I resigned, and then this is my first week of retirement. So it's kind of an adventure. We'll probably still I'm gonna work on the video business, and I may do some other side hustles to bring in some money on the side, because it takes a lot of money to live these days. But we're gonna do that, and so here's what our first week of retirement looks like. We set up a schedule. Actually, believe it or not, I've actually worked a lot harder this week than any week before. But we're kind of getting the house into order and getting our plan going. So for 2.5 weeks, we've been not eating out. So we're just cooking at home so we can live more economically. And we are going to try to do everything, make everything ourselves as much as we can. Here's what I was going to tell you the daily schedule. So the daily schedule, Monday through Friday, get up, have a time of prayer and meditation. I put on some worship music, and I read some scripture, about 30 minutes. And then I go to the gym, which is going to take probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. Then we clean house for an hour or so. We're working on different zones in the house and just getting it into better order. Then we cook lunch and have lunch with my wife and dad downstairs. And then after that, I'm going to spend some time with dad. It all kind of varies because he has people that come in to help out. So we'll see how the times go. And then I'll spend time working on the video channel in the afternoons. And then evening, kind of like free time, or I may be sitting in front of the TV at my computer making some editing videos, because I like to edit and play around with editing videos while I watch TV. So that's what we're doing in retirement. So we're getting used to it. Sweet pea is, I'm going to the gym and swimming for 30 minutes, which is what I've been doing. But starting in about 2 weeks, I'm going to start lifting weights. So I'll probably spend 30 minutes lifting weights, 30 minutes on the pool. Sweet pea's walking to the end of the street and lifting weights at home for now. So she may or may not get a gym membership with me. It's up to what works for her. So pause a second. Pause. Oh, I was going to tell you, when we were supposed to not be drinking the unboiled water. So one day I came in and I wanted some Metamucil. So I just, ran a glass at the faucet, and I forgot about boiling the water. And I threw in a teaspoon of Metamucil and stirred it up real fast and was like, just drink it down. Because when you're stirring up Metamucil, you have to do it fast or it starts to congeal in the water. So I swallowed it, and then I was like, oops, that was unboiled water. I hope there's no bacteria in there. So what I did, I grabbed, lemon is good for killing bacteria. And I keep lemon, like that real lemon that you can get at the store in bottles. I make lemonade out of it to make the water taste better that I drink. So I grabbed a bottle of that and took about 4 ounces and chug. And I put 4 ounces of lemon down to go with that unboiled water. So I think, as far as I can tell, I didn't have any kind of stomach issues from drinking that. So either the water wasn't that bad or the lemon helped with that issue. So other adventures this year. So I'm working on my health, and I decided at the beginning of the year, some people give up things at Lent. And so a lot of times we'll give up things at the beginning of the year. So I gave up chocolate for, I think, 3 weeks, which I had been eating a lot of Mr. Good bars. So that was a good thing to kind of break the habit for a while. And then I consume a lot of artificial sugar. So like I would make a coffee and put 5 artificial sugars in, like 5 Splendas. And I just, I knew that probably was too much sweetener, because it kind of gets your body to where it's craving sugar or sweetener, and regular sugar doesn't taste sweet enough. So I decided to just go on a 3-week hiatus on aspartame, diet sodas, and NutraSweet. Splenda. So basically for 3 weeks I had nothing, no artificial sweetener, and I used real sugar, which isn't as sweet, but that was it. I felt kind of out of sorts when I did that. I don't know if there's any real withdrawals, but I know my body was probably overwhelmed because I was intaking a lot. So after the 3 weeks, then I continued. I was going to just continue not using artificial sugar, but I decided to moderate a little. So what I'm doing now is I'm just taking one Splenda and put it in a tall glass of lemonade, and then put some sugar in there. So that way the Splenda kind of gets it sweetened up. but then the sugar's more natural. But I'm using a little bit of artificial sweetener, but I'm not just overwhelmed with it, because I felt like I was, all things in moderation is good. So I felt like I was overdoing that a bit. So that was a real victory for the first month of the year. One more thing. I got my COVID vaccination this week. So it was a Pfizer vaccination. So we signed up January 7th. We're in the second category for our age and health. So we're eligible after healthcare workers. Myself and my wife and my dad were all eligible to get the next vaccines because of our status. So we waited from January 7th until this week. And I had told Anita, look, we're retired, so I heard you could drive to Amarillo out in West Texas and just walk in and get a COVID shot. So I said, let's just find a place and we'll get in the car and drive 2 to 3 hours if we need to and go ahead and get our shots, because I want to start being able to move around a little bit more in society. So just when we decided to do that, the notice came in for me and said, you are eligible for your vaccination, for your first vaccination. So I filled out the paperwork and I drove down there Tuesday. Excuse me. And it was with the county, so it was a big facility. They were using like a convention center. So it took about an hour and 15 minutes. They were very efficient, really, in getting it to us. I had to wait in a line, but it moved pretty fast. And everyone was very polite. When I came in, the fireman took my information and he just said blessings on me whenever I went through. And then they had signs up everywhere that said no cameras or cell phones. So I had to stop taking pictures at some point. I recorded a little video of myself when I was driving in. Then after we waited in line, then someone took more information, and then they sent us down to a room. In the room, I had two, I guess they were fire people, but what do you call the ones that are not fire station? They're EMTs. I think it's EMTs. So I sat down with them, and they said, okay, we're going to give you the Pfizer vaccination. Which arm do you want it in? Do you have any allergic reactions? Got my shot. I barely felt anything, just a slight pain maybe. No pain when the needle went in. I told them, you did really good. I didn't feel anything. And then they had me go over and sit on the other side of the room. They had like 50 chairs set up, all spaced out 6 feet. And they said, wait 15 minutes because there is a slight risk, like 1 in a million or something, of anaphylactic shock. So, if you're allergic. So I think they had people on site there in case, you had an issue. They could probably give you a shot of adrenaline or whatever and rush you to the hospital. So it seems like they were taking care of people. The statistics, the articles I've been reading online are saying that even with the first vaccination, that after 28 days or whatever, actually after 12 days, you've got some resistance, and that it may be like 92% even without the second shot, which is really nice. So that was a good experience. So it's Tuesday. This is Friday. So I've got 3 days into my immunity. So I'm really looking forward to going to work out with the weights at the gym. I'm looking forward to going back to church. We've been watching church on TV for about a year. And so I'm looking forward to going back and actually rubbing shoulders with people and singing together and doing the things you do at church. And also getting together with our family. We've basically had our family on the back porch for the, 6 or 9 months. So if the weather's good, they can come over. But if the weather's bad, not so much. So looking forward to being able to, loosen the rules a little bit for the family and be together. So those are a million things that we've been doing. I have been recording more shorts lately. You've probably noticed a lot of 60-second videos. So it seems like the shorts are a really good way to, sometimes it's a good way to bring in new subscribers to the channel. But I am planning on continuing to make 8-minute content and 10-minute content and 20-minute content like this one. And then we'll be looping videos also like we have been, for 30 minutes or longer, so that you can fall asleep with the content. So those short videos, if you don't like them, just don't click on them. If you do, watch them, have fun with them. But they're kind of the new thing, TikTok and shorts. So it's a way to kind of grow the channel and get new people to find out, almost like advertisements. And we'll be continuing to put out longer form content. And hopefully we'll get better at it, and the channel will grow. We're up to 1,800 subscribers now. So even though we haven't been able to invest a lot of time the last 2 months, it just continues to grow gradually. And I thank all of you for your part in that and for helping with that. So I'm going to just say, I hope that you sleep well tonight. I hope I didn't talk too loud because I've never done soft spoken this long. I hope you sleep well tonight and get lots of rest, and that you're doing well where you are with whatever the weather is and whatever your health situation is. I appreciate you and thank you. I want to thank Richard for being our our first sponsor on Patreon. And I think I'm going to make a little clip. I'm going to make a little clip and produce it with his name on it. And we'll look forward to having some more as time goes. So thank you and have a blessed day. Good night.